Hello fellow investors, today I wanted to go over a less complex topic, which is constructing a personal portfolio. If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in investments, but the first step may be a bit overwhelming. While it would be best to consult with a financial advisor, I would assume you don't have access to one, don't want one, or want a second opinion. The portfolio allocation in question would consider bonds and stock index funds, because they are the most accessible and popular instruments. There are a couple of things you have to determine about yourself before you start investing. First is your risk attitude, second is your ability to assume risk, and third is your investment objective. Your risk attitude is basically how you feel and react about potential and actual losses. Do you feel that the money you've saved so far is your foundation that should never crack, or a consumable for opportunities to improve your wealth? How would you feel if your savings went down 5, 10 or 30% and there is high likelihood of further losses of the same magnitude? Would you want to withdraw the capital before your assets are cut again? Or would you continue to contribute money every paycheck? And I don't want you to compare investment risk to gambling, however. You go to a casino ready to lose everything that evening, but invest with an objective to increase or preserve capital. If you feel that you can handle your portfolio cut in half or even more, then you're probably mentally ready to handle stocks. If you can't see your portfolio losing even 5%, then you need the safest assets like short-term government bonds. Your ability to take risk is determined by the stability of your income, consumption level, existing assets, and most importantly, age and objective time frame. For example, if you work for the government or at an established company that does not downsize its employees, then your income flow is rather stable, and that means you can handle more volatility in your portfolio. If, however, you are a freelancer, a business owner, or a seasonal worker, then your income is not as stable and portfolio volatility would not help you. Then you should consider what proportion of your income is spent and saved. The less cushion you have, the less volatility you can handle. Similarly, you should consider your existing net worth. If you have a lot of assets that you can live off, then coping with volatility is easier. But the greatest asset you may have is time. Generally, the younger you are, the more time you have to recover losses, both in the financial markets and earn as income. Finally, the goal also determines your portfolio. If you are saving for the next summer trip, then you can't allocate money into risky assets. If they drop, there just isn't enough time to recover. You can assume a little more risk if you are saving, say, to buy a car or for a down payment on your house. But if your goal is far in the future, say retirement, kids' college, or general wealth, then you should target higher returns. Let's get through a couple of examples. Boris is 29 years old, works for a government organization, and has accumulated some money in his savings account. He is single and likes living on the edge. His expenses substantially trail his salary, and he is planning to buy his own condo in the next few years. We can conclude that he can tolerate and is able to assume risk, but the short-term nature of his goal means that he can't go all in into equities. It's more likely that something like 75% bonds and 25% equity allocation would be more appropriate. And bonds should be short in duration, ideally matching the timing of the goal. Another example is Julia. She is 35, married, has kids, and works for a major international company in a managerial position. Her goal is to build wealth over the long term. Her other financial areas are covered. Her retirement is handled by the government. She co-owns an apartment with her husband. They have some funds saved for the rainy day, and they manage to save some money almost every month. Julia herself prefers stability over risk. Here, high return target is supported by the ability to assume risk and the long-term nature of the goal. However, her attitude towards risk means that she won't be able to tolerate investing 90% into equities. Maybe the classic 60-40 portfolio would be more suitable. If you want to find allocation for yourself, then there are online services that can help you. For example, Charles Schwab has a robo-advising system that asks you questions about your goals and attitudes and then suggests a portfolio. You can play around with it. I'll leave a link in the description. I want to end this video repeating that ideally you should consult with a financial advisor, because portfolio allocation also has to take into account taxes, marital status, health, and insurance, and many other things that you can just put into a program. Other than that, please tell me what other topic I should cover in the future.